and gentlemen, my name is Technify, and today we'll be talking about the absolute drastic decline of Valorant. And if you did not know, Valorant, if you have been living under a rock for the past couple of years and haven't heard about Valorant, first of all, you're lucky. Second of all, I will explain it to you, because sit down, let me explain. So Valorant is a team-based class-type shooter. There are 22 agents, which are the classes, each one having custom abilities. Take Jet, for example. She has a simple dash, which lets you go forward in a straight line with added velocity. She has an updraft, which allows her to go up very, very high, which can allow her to get into some good positions. And then she has smokes to cover enemy sidelines. By themselves, they can't do much. They can, but they can't do as much. But if you combo the updraft and dash together, you can go updraft dash, which can let you go high and then dash fast, which allows you to get into areas that the enemy would not expect. And every single character in the entire game has its own custom abilities. Some good, some bad, which leads me to my first issue with Valorant. Some agents are just ignored. There are many agents in this game, so you would expect to have some of them ignored. But honestly, if you're not one of the golden children, it feels like those agents just never get any changes. Unless you're wildly OP or even if you're wildly underpowered, you usually don't even get a fix for many, many years, such as Yoru. If we look at pre-up buff Yoru, he was absolute garbage, but then he got buffed, and now he's alright. He's not a top tier, but he's alright. He's a kind of middle now. But let's take out one that they never buffed. Harbor. If you do not know, Harbor has 3 abilities. A water wall, which can stretch across a very large area, a shield bubble, which allows you to do it, and a miniature version of the water wall, which you can send flying and stop whenever you want. Harbor freaking sucks. He is probably the worst, if not one of the worst classes right now. His ability to do anything is completely outclassed by every other agent in the game. He's a controller, if I remember correctly. So his goal is to smoke off the certain areas of the enemy team and then continue on, which allows us to take space. But the problem is his big wall, every last one of his abilities only do a slow effect and does not blind you at all. But once you walk through it, you can see instantly. So let's say you're a really good shot and you walk through the wall, boom, you can just see the enemies and just take a shot and kill maybe 1 or 2 of them. And if you manage to get the kill, the enemies know that Harbor's wall is there, so they can just wait for a few seconds, boom, the water's gone, boom, push in and destroy everything. And yes, you can say the same about other classes, but Harbor especially is just so weak right now. He's not even, most team competitions, there's legitimately no real map that actually supports him very well. He is probably one of the worst classes, not on release. That still goes to the title of Yoru as the most awful class ever in release. When it comes to right now currently, he is the most underpowered and undertuned class probably in the game. But now let's talk about the classes that they actually care about, such as Viper and Raina. This one I'll be mainly focusing on Raina because I think Viper is pretty balanced. To be fair, I do think they kind of neutered Viper's ultimate very, very badly. That was kind of deserved, honestly. Viper's ultimate used to be unplayable, and I'm going to play against. If you do not know, Raina is a duelist type. Meaning she is the one entering and trying to kill as many people as possible to let the rest of her team in, alongside the controller. The controller smokes or walls, whatever, and then the initiator and duelists go in and start to kill everyone, and the controllers usually plant the spike. That's how it goes. Well, Raina throws all of that away because her character's kit endorses a more active approach. And by that I mean flanking down mid and trying to get as many kills for epic montage. Kind of like Spy from TF2. Yeah, I'll use Spy as a thing. Spy is supposed to go behind the enemy lines, get it back, and backstab the medic and zap the sentries. But you know what most spies do? They go on a trick stab. They try to use trip stab and go on a rampage, and most fail. The exact same thing applies to Raina. Raina is supposed to help entry and do that, but instead most Raina players go down mid, trying to get as many kills as possible, because her kit is 2 flashes, which are very annoying to play against, as they can be put anywhere, and as long as you see it, you'll be blinded. It is an eye-shaped thing, where as long as you see it, you are blinded. And the only way to get rid of it is by shooting it, which makes you make your gun leave just to go up, which allows them to have easy kill. And then when they get that kill, they have 2 more abilities, which is called Overheal and then Dismiss. Let's say there's 2 of you, and you kill one of, and the enemy Raina kills one of you, but you have a crosshair right on the enemy's head. But as you click down your thing, thinking you're gonna have an excellent trade, and how nothing could go wrong, she uses her Dismiss. Her Dismiss negates all damage for a full second, and gives her a speed boost. It doesn't matter if you unloaded an entire magazine on her. She will take absolutely 0 damage. And if she gets behind cover and undoes it, boom, she's back in the fights like nothing ever happened. That should not be a thing, in my personal opinion. I don't think she's broken, but that sounds just unfair. If you get a kill and then you peek out again, get another kill, do that exact same thing, you can kill up to 3 or maybe even 5 players just in an instant. Like that. I digress. She has 1 more ability, and that's an Overheal. Now, if I remember right, I don't have 100% because I couldn't find the exact. But once you get a kill, there's a soul orb that appears, and you can either use it for the Dismiss that I just talked about, or for the Overheal. If you get the Overheal, you not only heal all the damage that you had, but you get extra health. I believe it's 50 extra health. So you go from a max health of 150 to a max health of 200. Which an extra 50 health can take so much damage for you, it's insane. Especially if you didn't take a single hit during the fight, because you use a freaking sniper rifle or something. And I will use Spy from TF2 as another analogy. Spy's kunai. A very squishy class that doesn't have much to go off of, but if moment he gets a stab, he can have a massive overheal, of up to 220 health, which is more than a soldier. Same thing with Raina. She doesn't have, most of her abilities are bored until she gets a kill. So once she actually gets that kill though, she has the overheal, which allows her to go on a bit more of a rampage. Both are weak until they get that first kill. When they get that first kill, they can go a lot more aggressive. That is not practically a bad thing, but they don't do anything for either of them. It's been so long since the class actually got a rework, since Yoru, I'm pretty sure was the last one, that some agents like ISO or Harburg just are completely undertuned and just not fun to play. Valorant agents, most agents are pretty balanced in my opinion. I've played most agents in the entire game, and most were very, very fun. Personally, actually, I'm an Omen main. And if y'all don't think that Omen is the best character, y'all are just wrong. I'm sorry. Omen is just so cool. But anyway, I'll move on. Other problem I have with Valorant is, the other problem with Valorant that I think most players have agreed. I've had many games, well, the chat talked about this. Valorant just likes to remove fun game modes. A long time ago, so let me explain. Valorant has game modes that are fun. Spike Rush is a very fun game mode. But that's like the last fun game mode. There's one fun game mode that isn't just regular. There's actually 2, sorry. I do apologize for that. So there's 2 game modes. Ascension and Spike Rush. Spike Rush is everyone on the attacking side has a spike, which is the thing you have to plant. But you can only plant one, because that would be too chaotic to defuse them all. And then there's also random guns every single round. If I'm being real, it gets boring pretty quickly, honestly. Like, it's just random guns, but at a certain point, it's just regular Valorant, just random gun. That's it. You can have multiple people have a spike, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna do it. And I've noticed a lot of Spike Rush that players sometimes go to we could have taken a site, but someone could sneak off to the other side of the map and plant the spike on the side where absolutely no one else is, and then we have to all run there before the enemy just defuses it, which is very annoying. And then essentially it's just HQ you get a better gun. And sometimes it's random, like you get a little robot death machine that blows itself up and tries to kill enemies. But then at a certain point if a player high up gets a couple lucky kills, he has like an AK-47, a guy with a pistol can't ever kill him. Especially if he can hit headshots. Valorant used to have a snowball game mode where it was like ice skating and you would shoot snowballs at each other. And I was unluckily enough to not join Valorant at that time. But when I heard about it, I was so sad I didn't join. because it actually sounds fun. But no, Riot decided to balance the game, not decided to remove it because, they hate fun. Which leads me to my next point. Valorant only balances for competitive. I don't think they made a single change they did because the actual player base wanted it. I think it's only for competitive. And I have evidence. And Valorant takes months and years to make changes sometimes. But then the moment Valorant players, competitive players, start to say that Chamber is way too good, they get nerfed into oblivion. Which is just like, they balance the game around competitive play and it's esports too much. They make nerfs that don't need to be happen. Nerf the worst characters because there's a new tech that the really best in the world players do. And so they nerf the actual thing and remove it completely, or just outright nerf the agent, which just isn't fun for the player base. If you're not playing the meta agent sometimes, you just can't play the game. Meta matters so much in Valorant. It's not even funny. Valorant players absolutely adore playing the most OP class they can. And you know what? I don't blame them. Valorant takes such a long time to do anything about balance that if you can find a really OP exploit for a little while, granted, most times it can take them months to fix it. Or even just do a slight rechange. But that's not the main problem. The issue is also that agents like Yoru, as I mentioned, was undertuned and so awful for so long until Riot finally gave him a pretty decent fix. But even then, it took them that long to make that big of a fix. I understand updating a game takes time, but you also have to understand, let me look this up, Riot Games is a company worth $2.91 billion and has probably hundreds, if not thousands, if not tens of thousands of developers working on Valorant. I think they could turn out more than one update every 4 months, 4 or 5 months, or even 6 months, 7 months sometimes, even a year sometimes. They just go barely any updates. That's not good. The system Riot has is that they let Valorant get so content dry and so empty that millions upon millions of players leave. And then finally, after months, 1, 2, 3, 4 months of just 4 or 5 months of just straight nothing, because no agents, no balance shit, just no nothing, that sometimes in this case right here, millions of players just leave. So they let the game get absolutely just barely alive. And then they just swoop in with this medium-sized update, which lets players get so excited because they're like, oh my god, the game's actually getting updated, which ropes in hundreds of thousands, if not millions of players again. They have the players stuck in a loop. They're getting disappointed and mad that the Riot doesn't make updates. So Riot continues not to make updates to make players mad and quit for a month or two. But then a new update comes and that player feels so relieved because the favorite game finally gets updated that they return to the game just for a couple of weeks, which lets the player base get huge, and new players come in and be like, whoa, this game has a huge player numbers and it's been rising again. I'll download it, which allows even more players to come in, which allows older players who thought the game was dead to come in and say, oh, well, I mean, 500,000 players came, might as well be one of them, which allows hundreds upon hundreds, if not millions of players come in. But then the exact same loop repeats, the exact same loop. And most players don't even realize they're in that loop until they finally hear it and they're like, oh, I actually just want to quit. So that's the problem, is that Valorant is keeping the player base in such a chokehold that they just can't do anything. A good way to describe it would be kind of like Overwatch. Overwatch keeps the players dry for so long that they keep quitting, but then they add a new OP character which creates a meta. Well, no, that isn't exactly what Valorant does, but they do something very similar. Both games leave their community to die and then suddenly swoop in and rope everyone back in, which is a last-ditch effort update, which somehow allows millions of players to get back in. Both Overwatch and Valorant are games that once had millions upon millions of more players, and both games have seen a drastic decline in those player numbers. But both games are still alive. because the current gaming market allows them to be. Valorant needs to be better. They need more updates. I don't discredit them. I understand that making updates is hard, but we also have to understand the scale of $1 billion. $1 billion alone can change the world. It's estimated, I'm pretty sure, that $5 billion could end world hunger or something like it. Very, very similar. I don't remember if it's that, but it could billions of dollars could end poverty. Like, let's say you wanted to end poverty in the U.S. I'm pretty sure $2 billion could most likely end most poverty. Maybe not completely, but 90% of poverty would be ended. And Riot Games is probably worth $10 billion. Easily. So you don't think they can't make an update for the, 3 games they have in that time? Then you're a moron. I'm sorry. People make the exact same argument with Minecraft. Minecraft is the most sold game in the world. Ever. And yet it took them, they still haven't even updated it once. Where's the update? All they've been doing lately is just updating the stupid base. But anyway, I'll go back to the topic. That's not the only problem with Valorant, is that Valorant is a good game. It's a good game with bad choices. Like Overwatch. I'll put it back to the example. Overwatch is a very good example. It's a good game with poor decisions. An even better example, I should say, is probably Team Fortress. It is a great game. An absolute banger of a game. But thanks to Valve's poor decisions and absolute lazy developing, Team Fortress is dying. Hashtag save too. But anyway, if Riot could get the head out of every esports team's and actually look at the game's health, the majority of actual casual players are losing interest. Players' numbers are dropping. Level of interest in for you videos of the game are dropping. And that's the last thing I want to talk about. Valorant content is absolutely disgusting. If 90% of it is just e-datas, I swear. If you go on Valorant side of YouTube, there's 10% of it is actual good content. 20% of it is challenge videos. Let's say 20% of it is challenge and fun content. The other 80 is just e-dating. And now some of it's actually kind of okay. I forget the one, but there's this one who actually is a married couple just playing and having a good time. And it's really wholesome and sweet. That's fine. But the type of that this has, the type of stuff that this has, the type of stuff to have couples saying, every time you get a kill, I'll moan for you. That is the most disgusting, vile piece of filth on this poop of a website called YouTube I've ever seen, and I am mad that isn't deleted. How is it fair that if people say the wrong word, they can get demonetized, but people can say that and stay monetized? I don't understand it. I'm not even throwing shade at Valorant anymore. I'm throwing shade at YouTube. That system is stupid. But anyway, there's probably already that topic's already been milked to absolute death. Valorant is dying because the Riot development team is too focused on balancing it for esports and competitive, and not focused enough on giving the casual player the enjoyment they deserve. And as I said, that's a great example of what of Team Fortress and Overwatch have been doing. Is there a way to save over Valorant? Yes. Just make more fun game modes. Please, Riot, please. Hey guys, it's the end of the video. There's this, I just wanted to say something real quick. I might not be able to upload for a little while. Me and my family are moving, so yeah. Good luck with that, by the way. So yeah, I might not upload for maybe a week or two, but when it does, I will continue the upload. And also, we're creating a second channel with me and my editor. Link in bio. And me and him are actually going to be uploading quite a lot to that channel. And so yeah, it's just gonna be me and him, or just maybe me, or sometimes just him, just playing games and just doing random stuff. The upload schedule for that channel will be kind of weird. It's not gonna be weekly like this one. It's probably gonna be once a month, or maybe 2 months, or maybe a week, something. Whenever we feel like recording a video together, we're probably just gonna do that. We will not cut into any of the weekly videos for this channel. We will always keep uploading weekly on this channel, but yeah, just wanted to give that channel a quick shout out. If you guys would appreciate, I would love us like and subscribe. And so yeah, a quick couple things. I will continue the Valorant. I will continue making Team Fortress content mainly, but I do want to move into different types of videos as well. But yeah, so yeah, I don't know if you would like to play the outro. Thank you guys very much. Goodbye.